Ayan, okay guys. Magandang araw. So, previously, uh, previously we have discussed the introduction to business combination. Okay? So, as I have mentioned before, there are two major modes of effecting business combination. So, the two modes are the asset acquisition and stock acquisition. Right? Again, good day to everyone. Ayan. So, asset acquisition. Paano ba itong nangyayari? So, for asset acquisition, the acquirer purchase all the net assets of the acquirer in exchange for cash or other non-cash considerations, which is maybe acquirer's own shares in exchange for the shares or in exchange for the net asset of the acquiree. Right, right, right. So for business combination, um, effected through asset acquisition, there are there are also two types. One is the statutory merger and the statutory consolidation. Yan. So for statutory merger, um, ito yung two or more companies combined into a single entity. The one remains while the other is absorbed. So in a simple illustration, si company A plus si company B is equal to either company A or company B. Okay, so one is uh, um, maintained and the other one is absorbed by the by one of the companies. Okay, right. So another one is statutory consolidation. So this is both under asset acquisition. Okay. So another one is statutory consolidation. Yan. Yan. Sa mga sirena. So for statutory consolidation, ito naman yung kapag yung two or more companies combined into another uh, single entity. Okay, both combining entities are dissolved and the new entity is formed. So in a simple illustration, company A plus company B is equal to company C. So neither of the combining entities are uh, 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 um, remain existing. Okay, so they are consolidated into a new form of entity. So, for asset acquisition, so for asset acquisition yun ha. The next is stock acquisition. How is this being effected? So for us, stock acquisition naman, the acquirer obtains control over the acquiree by acquiring majority ownership interest. Okay, so this means more than 50% of the total total voting rights of the acquiree. Right, right. So more than 50%. So dahil sa tawag dito, in a democratic management, right? Right. Yeah. So majority shares is more than 50%, right? Right. Then on a stock acquisition, we will have a parent-subsidiary relationship. Okay? Yan. So the parent and subsidiary retain their separate legal existence. However, for financial reporting purposes, both the parent and the subsidiary are viewed as a single reporting entity. Gets? So for this one, um, A plus B is equal to A and B. Okay? So nakita yung difference kanina? Right. Yeah. So consolidated financial statements are prepared for the uh, parent company. So um, so yun yung difference ng uh, asset acquisition and stock acquisition. So pag asset acquisition, we have statutory merger and statutory consolidation. While in stock acquisition, ito yung acquisition of controlling interest over the acquiring or the subsidiary. Okay? Yeah. Come on. Come on, everyone. Yan, patalastas lang muna yan. Yan. Okay? So, we going forward, I mean, moving on, meron tayong accounting for business combination. So, this is the, the focus of this course. So, for business combination, this is accounted using acquisition method under PFRS 3. So, the acquisition method requires the following steps. One is identifying the acquirer. Sino ba yung bumibili or sino magiging parent entity. Right? Sino magiging um, majority shareholder, parang gano'n. Okay? Then, another next step is determining the acquisition date. Determining the acquisition date, then recognizing and measuring goodwill. So for identifying the acquirer, the entity that obtains control over the acquiree is the acquirer or will be the parent entity. Okay? Then the acquirer is usually the entity that transfers the cash or other assets or incurs the liabilities. So, yan. Dahil nga siya yung bumibili, right? Siya yung magta-transfer ng cash or assets or mag-incur ng liabilities. Right? Yeah. Then, for the acquisition date, the date on which the acquirer obtains control of the acquiree, so yun yung magiging acquisition date. So, this is normally the closing date. So, date on which the acquirer legally transfers the consideration, acquires the asset, and assumes the liability of the acquiree. Okay? So, ito kasi yung magiging record date natin ng consolidation. Okay? So, kapag ma-absorb yung this will be the date where the acquirer, okay, legally transfers the kapag nagkabayaran na, okay, acquires the assets and assume the liabilities of the acquiree. So, yun yung acquisition date. So, for recognizing and measuring goodwill naman, so, ito kasi, if there is a difference, right, between the acquisition value or the consideration given versus the fair value of the net asset acquired, then we will what you call this, recognize goodwill or gain on bargain purchase. Right? Kapag mababa yung okay. So kapag yung fair value of consideration, okay, is higher than the fair value of the asset acquired, there will be goodwill. Okay? So pag mas malaki yung binigay or yung cash paid versus the net asset, then the acquiree, the acquirer, okay, the acquirer will recognize goodwill. Okay? But if the fair value is lower than I mean the fair value of the consideration given is lower than the fair value of the net asset, then the acquirer will recognize gain on bargain purchase. Right, right. So gets yan? Gets?
Hello.
Gets? Yeah. Okay. So, sabi dito, consideration transferred is measured at acquisition date, fair values, so provisional amounts. Then, measurement period ends as soon as the acquirer obtains enough information to finalize the provisional amount. But in any event, does not exceed 1 year from the date of acquisition. So, sabi dito, measurement period ends as soon as the acquirer obtains enough information to finalize the provisional amounts. So, dito kasi, consideration transferred is measured at acquisition date, fair value, so provisional amounts pa siya. Then, yung measurement period, okay, ng consideration transferred, ends as soon as yung information to finalize provisional amounts is enough. Okay? But, in any event, does not exceed 1 year. So, dapat yung measurement period will not exceed 1 year from the date of acquisition. Okay? Gets on? Yeah. So, for examples, I will record other discussions on the uh, on the accounting for these business combinations. Okay, so see you on the next presentation. Okay, guys, thank you and goodbye.